Okay, this is a bit of a quick look at the AR 8600 from Aor. It's the Mark II, the second edition, and this is RON mk2 AHR, and not quite on 7097. I'll have to look at that and just find out if that's a calibration issue. But I've got these guys on 7097 perfectly over here, yeah, just could be the way that they resolve sideband a little bit down, but we'll check that out. But certainly receiver function is incredibly good. I've just got this on the 40 meter beam at the moment, and yeah, honestly, it's as good as having a listen to the 7850. Let's have a look. Ron's going. What we'll do, up the band a bit, and let's see if we go up. I'm going the slow way. 7105 net. Geez, I tell you what, this thing receives well. It's as good as any of our normal receivers on various radios around here. These and these here. This really is doing well for. It's not a huge radio, of course. Had to repair this one, unfortunately. Took a bit of a hit coming over, and got it sorted though, so that was good. But it was a bit of a worry initially. Hate pulling screws on stuff that I've just bought. It wasn't the seller's problem; it was a packing issue. Probably just got sent in an airbag versus a box. And anyone sending this type of gear, don't trust airbags. I mean, if you put it in a box and make sure it's absolutely, totally, covered in a box. As far as the box fits in the airbag, etc., great. But this just had a bit of bubble wrap around it, and it took a hit. Unfortunately, smashed a piece off it as well on the back, which was unfortunate. But anyway, not much we can do about that. But as a receiver, got it back going again, and so far, pretty happy with what it's doing. It's actually, you can change the function. You almost want to leave it on down about 0.5, I suppose, but you can change your step function quite easily, and just bring that up to say you want to do 1 kc. Just hit enter, and then you're moving around the band a lot faster. Yeah, it does zero out though, and that will probably be a matter of having a little bit of a play. It could be that it's taken this hit that's thrown the calibration off, because really those stations should be on 7105. And that's what your result is. So at the moment, I'm going to have to go change that back to 0.1, and then basically there's Mal, and there's Mal VK5MJ over in the Riverland. Look how strong he is. And we're not. Our beam's not even at him. If I put the beam at Mal, go the right way. Geez, he's strong. Well, he's only getting stronger there. I think I pointed over towards South Australia. These guys are just swamping the receiver. Unbelievable. Look at that signal. They are just swamping it. Where the pointing due south was, getting that meter to move a bit. Now it's just solid. It's just, yeah. Geez, that receiver's bloody good. It's a pleasure to listen to. Normally I find some of these communications receivers that go everywhere, the sideband resolution is a little bit average, but this is just phenomenal. I honestly could just put this in anywhere, put an antenna on it and listen to this, easily as much as the various radios we've got here. I'm going to have to check this calibration. I have to get a service manual, but this calibration's out. And that's a pity, because I'd say it's when it's taken this big hit, it's unfortunately knocked that out as well. I thought I was going to get lucky and just fix an issue that had a dry joint issue, which was in there. Very obvious one too. So it was pretty obvious that it had just taken a hit. One of the boards had moved, and I was able to just resolder that up. But yeah, within that, I think the hits caused us a little bit of a calibration issue. But if we can bring that up, you know, it's only 500 hertz, and we just have to be careful that when we're affecting that 500 hertz, we're not affecting the VHF UHF, because it could be that just one section's needing calibration. Nice little unit, absolutely. Oh, let me pull out a couple of things to show you that came with it. Actually, it's important, I suppose. Right, so this is a AR 8600 RSSI meter, and you might sort of say, well, that's interesting. This is a very, you know, as you can see here, there's not a great level of accuracy. Everyone's just booming in, well, right until that guy. Someone a little bit not so easy, but the RSSI meter is a really handy way to, especially if you're looking at VHF UHF signals and you're doing any, you know, a degree of survey with your unit, and you're surveying signals. But nice bag, comes in a really complete bag. AR 8600 fits in there with the books, power supply, etc. in there, RSSI meter and programming lead in there, and of course the AR 8600 manual. So look, these are brilliant. I could go on about all the, you know, FM uses and different things you can do, and I must admit, this unit for us is probably more about what it's doing on HF, just for, you know, in this shack. But when we're on site looking at something, yeah, these are a great tool for VHF UHF stuff, and we can often get a bit of an idea what a repeater's doing and a few things as far as coverage reports, etc. So, and this is where the RSSI meter comes in, you know, very, very handy. But yeah, and nice little feature for it. Quite seriously, they don't come standard with it, but for a few bucks you can sort of add that on. And yeah, I'm just having a bit of a play here. I think everyone's gone just about. That one's gone quiet. Yep. Let's have a look. I'm doing it the long way around, but for now, 0.1 measurements work better for what we're trying to achieve. But yeah, I'm going to calibrate that. There'll be a calibration manual somewhere, and we'll get that sort of sitting on 7105. Some of them do drop 1.5 kcs on their sideband, and obviously with upper they jump up 1.5. But the 0.5 smells of calibration more so than anything else. But look, you know, what can you do? Things happen in freight. People get it wrong sometimes, and it's, you know, I always sort of think, hey, minor, you know, if we can fix it, you know, someone learns next time to put something in a box, and that's great. And I won't name the person who did it. It's not an issue. He's a great mate of mine. It's just a mistake, you know. He probably thought that the bit of bubble wrap was going to, you know, cover it, but unfortunately not. Oh, and to be fair, the bubble wrap was around this bag here, you know, so the bag had to give some sort of, you know, protection to the radio, but where it took a hit, unfortunately, no. And actually, I can show you where it took a hit. Oh, hang on, can I? Yeah, I think I can. I've got enough cable here. Yeah, see that back edge there? It's taken a piece off there, and yeah, whereas the other side has a, you know, edge there. By the way, that's your rear RSSI plugs in there, power antenna, programming through here, programming through there or there. Oh, I think programming is. There's a programming lead in here. Hang on, let me grab the lead out. Oh yeah, no, programming lead goes in there, so that's quite handy. Now, bear in mind, just something I was going to say too. Oh, hang on, put that over there, just knocked it off frequency. Bearing in mind, this combination of AR 8600, the RSSI meter, bags, everything's an option with AOR. So this was not a cheap setup at all. And my mate that sold it to me, honestly, the price was great. He looked after me. So look, you know, the fact we've had to do a couple of things to it, maybe, you know, sort of just keeps me on my game. But there's no hard feelings. It's just one of those things that that happen. Anyway, at least you've got to see, you know, look, some of these AOR products and how well they work on. Oh, here we go. Popular guy. Actually, let's change frequency. Maybe I should even go down to 0.05. Now it's conveniently got him in the noise. All right, well, look, 73s to all. Let me turn that down. Don't want to hear that guy. that's the Aor AR8600, and yeah, we'll get that calibrated up this morning and see if we can pull the covers back off again, but it shouldn't be too hard. 73s, and I hope you've enjoyed having a look at, well, I reckon quite a really bloody good, well, it's a scanner, but boy, you know, HF receiver, you'd have to say it's kicking some goals. All the best. Cheers.